Okay, Ralph.
Go ahead, sir, you're all set.
Okay, I'd like to call the June 1st, 2021 North Providence Town Council meeting to order. Can you stand to salute the flag and remain standing for a moment of silence? I pledge
Pledge
allegiance
allegiance to the flag of the United States
to the republic which stands one nation
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, item number 1, acceptance of meeting minutes, discussion and possible action and vote with regard to the acceptance of meeting minutes from the meetings of May 4th, 2021. Do I have a motion to accept the meeting minutes?
So moved.
Motion has been made by Councilman Martone. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Bacala. Any questions? There being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those
Aye.
opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 2, administrative subdivision on Josephine Street. Mayor Lombardi requests discussion and possible vote on administrative subdivision to square off the property on Josephine Street owned by Connie Marie McClurg. Is the mayor here?
Mr. Chairman,
Yep, go ahead, Mayor.
Mr. Chair. Yes, so as we discussed a couple of times, when we purchased all of the properties from National Grid, it was discovered that the property at the corner of Roosevelt there, which backed up the properties at the corner of Josephine, had a jagged lot line. So after talking with the attorney for the McClurgs on Josephine Street, and also our solicitor, we thought it would be the right thing to square off both of those lots. Would be for the benefit of the town, and in the future, it becomes a squared off buildable lot, some 17,000 plus square feet. And I think it's the right thing. And originally the plan was to put a playground there, but in meeting with some of the neighbors, and we'll have a final meeting in the future, it's thought about putting a playground on the opposite street there of June Street. So that being said, Mr. Chairman, I think it's the benefit of the town for the future. We're told that it needed to be an administrative subdivision. So if the council saw fit to do that and support that, I think it's the right thing. So it's up to you.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for the mayor?
Mayor, just a question. When's the next meeting for the playground?
We talked today, and they wanted to make some changes. I didn't want to bother anybody at this point in time, so I'll be waiting to hear from some of the residents in that area once they get a definite plan as to what they'd like to see there. And both the three, the council president, yourself, and Councilman Famiglietti will be invited in at that time.
Other way around, Mayor. Steph that was talking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm sorry. But as
if I-
long as you know, I didn't want to, the last couple of discussions didn't want to, I know it was not even close to what should be done there. So they got some other changes, and it's always changes. So once they finalize their requests, I'll call you guys and we'll meet with them.
Very good. Thanks.
Yes, if I may, it's just Stefano and Dino, since we all three of us represent that area. I believe they're going to speak with the designer on Friday to talk about some of the, more inclusive components. So I'll get you the information.
Yeah. Well,
Perfect.
I actually put them in touch with that O'Brien lady today. So hopefully, I think the biggest concern there, Ken, is the handicap accessibility. Assured them that whatever needs to get done, we will do. And we're just waiting at this point in time, and we'll meet with them.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
Hey, any further questions? Okay, do I have a motion to approve the administrative subdivision?
So moved.
Motion's been made by Councilman Laportio. Is there a
Second.
second? Second by
Second.
Councilman Maggette. Ralph, is there any questions from the public?
No hands raised, sir.
Okay, that being said, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. Item number 3, Mayor Lombardi request discussion possible vote on funds used for street paving. I know we've discussed this at length. Do you have anything to add?
No, just that I got the numbers today from finance. I think the original contingency that was being held was for 394,737. 75,000 of that would be for the property at the garage, next to the garage. So we're requesting a transfer of 319,737 to a transfer that would go right to the paving budget, Mr. Chairman. And we've talked with the paver, and they said that because we need to spend this money before June 30th, and he assured us that they will come in and pave those streets that are on the list to utilize this, at least this 319, because that's in this year's budget.
Okay, is there any questions for the mayor? Okay, I think the sentiment of this council is to transfer some of the funds to the paving budget, and then hold some in our council contingency fund, in case of emergencies with the school department like we did last year. We're looking at the possibility of transferring 100,000. I didn't realize the number was 319,773. So would anybody be opposed to transferring 119,737?
I am.
Councilman?
Well, I don't know why anyone wants to do that. I can tell you that if it's money that was earmarked for something and it wasn't used, why would you not put it back where it came from? That's my question.
Does anybody have any other questions? Are you asking me that personally?
Oh, no, anybody wants to, if I guess you guys must have talked and made a decision on it, but what I'm saying is, if the money was earmarked for A, and A did not need it, the school department didn't need it, they show a $1.6 million surplus, then why will we not transfer that money back into the paving where our streets are so badly needed?
Well, first of all, I don't think anybody talked and decided it.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, because you said
I'm just
consensus,
putting
I guess maybe I took that wrong.
But there was discussion of a possible deficit. I mean, we have 800,000 in the paving budget as is going forward. I mean, this would bring it close to $1 million. I'm just trying to, help everyone here. It's clearly up to this council. I'm just throwing a suggestion out there to kick off the discussion.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, I think we spent, I forget what Maria said the other day, it was like much more than $1 million last year for the road construction. And my thought when we went over these numbers the other day, with the school department, I'm just, I'm a little surprised that we're talking about $200,000 for the schools when it's been clear that they've got money. I don't know right now. I don't think they need that money.
My suggestion is to continue it. We can pass an ordinance to carry it over until the council contingency fund. But that was my suggestion in case it was needed, kind of like we did last year with the 400,000. But that's up to this council.
That's up to you guys.
Yeah, if I may, Mr. President, and building off of what the mayor said, we did discuss all that at length during the budgetary process on Wednesday and Thursday last week. But I believe the mayor even said, he felt more comfortable if we had concerns about the school department maybe needing the money sometime in the future, that he would suggest that we have a contingency fund for that purpose rather than just give it to them now. And I think, I don't want to speak for you, Council President, but I think that's what you're suggesting, which I think it is a prudent suggestion. That's just my 2 cents.
Council President, can I ask a mechanics question? and I don't want to put Mark on the spot. I don't know. But Mark, how would that work practically? Is that something we'd have to have a special meeting for, or how would that work if we did want to carry some money over from this year to next year?
How it has worked in the past is that the council would have to pass an ordinance saying that it was earmarked in this budget for a certain purpose. It wasn't used for that purpose. So you want to carry it over to next year in the same line item. And you'd have to pass that ordinance at the same time you pass the budget ordinance. That's how we've done it going back to, I looked up an ordinance this weekend back to 2013 when we had reval money, for instance, in the budget for revaluation. And we didn't use up all the reval money because they didn't get the job done in the budget year. And what we did was, I talked to Bob Savidi, and what we did was we just did an ordinance saying, hey, we put this in the budget for this amount, this purpose. We didn't use it, we're carrying it over. And that satisfied what they call, at the time anyways, Gatsby 54, which is Gatsby is the federal rules on auditing and municipal government and finances. So that's how we've done it in the past.
Yeah, I mean, my feeling on it is I certainly want to put some money back into paving. So I know that's one of the most common calls that I get. So I'm definitely in favor of that. I also like the idea of carrying the money over if possible, because, we just went through two days of budget hearings, and that there was no money allocated for that line item in this year's budget. And I think, frankly, the money was allocated in other areas, and rightfully so. So, when we were going through the budget, I really didn't see a lot of places where we could, make the cuts. I think the mayor did a nice job, and the budget was very lean. So, personally, I feel very good about carrying it over, in light of the fact that I really didn't see places to get that money in this upcoming year's budget. So I think this is a great way to put that money in that line item without taking anything away from the really important stuff that was funded in the 2022 budget. So my personal opinion is I'm in favor of that.
Anybody have any other suggestions?
I just think it makes sense as well if you carry it over. Who's to say that the school department, we determined that they don't need the money that we carry over, and we could allocate it to paving later down the road. So I think it's the safest bet at this point anyway. Still retain control, and it's not giving a blank check either.
Anything else?
May I just have one question? The 75,000 for the tank, do we think that's sufficient for everything?
Well, that's not for the tank, Ron. That's for the purchase of the property.
I mean, I'm sorry. After the purchase of the property, the 75, is there any other additional funds you think are gonna be needed between the beautification, paving, where that's and footing and all that? Or?
Well, you guys, you transferred 100,000 from, I think it was the snow removal, into basically, if you want to call it, beautification of that property. Oh, and by the way, while I'm on that building's already is being painted as we speak. Looks very nice. The yard's being cleaned up. I'm not sure if the 100 is going to cover also all of the the cleaning up. But listen, if it's not, and you're going to hold some of this money, and we may need I don't know, $50,000-$75,000 of that money, then we'll come back to you.
That's right. That's pretty much the point I was getting to.
Yeah.
We need to be more in this contingency. If it's there, then we can utilize that toward that, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, can I entertain a motion to transfer 119,737 to the paving budget?
Moved.
Motion been made by Councilman Martone. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Famagetti. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye. Nay.
Just note for the record, one nay. And Mark, would we have to make a second motion to continue? I mean, no, to,
We should make another motion to draft the ordinance for passage to carry over the money.
Okay, and I will instruct, is there entertain a motion to instruct the legal counsel to draft an ordinance to carry over the remaining 200,000 into the council contingency fund?
So moved.
Motion's been made by Councilman Martone. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Amorigi. Is there any questions on that? There being none, all's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Go ahead, Mayor.
Mr. Chairman, if I can, only because I have another important meeting, could we jump over to 12 and 14 just to let you know what's going on with the Dave Westcott
Yes.
discussion in Caravilli Street for Stefano?
Okay, I'll take up number 12 right now, honoring Dave Westcott. Brett Wagon, request discussion and possible vote on honoring David Westcott with a memorial in the town of North Providence. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I haven't really chatted with Brent about that, but that's been an ongoing discussion to do something either in at Camp Meehan, Naughty Park, or also the property that we purchased down off Waterman Avenue, putting some type of a, how can I say, an honoring bench or something to show our appreciation to Dave Westcott. So we're amenable to any suggestion. I didn't want anyone to think that it hasn't been talked about. I did talk with Mrs. Westcott a while back and assured her that we will be doing something for Dave. Now, if someone else has come up with another idea, but I just want to be on the record to say that, it's something that we feel needs to be done. Those were some of the suggestions. Maybe one of the councilmen have another suggestion, but whatever needs to be done to honor Dave,
I think that's a
we will
great
make sure that we
idea.
do.
I may appreciate you bringing that forward. Thank you. He's a tremendous person and an asset to this town. So thank you for bringing that forward. Does
So I
anybody
don't know
have?
if Brent's on
Mayor?
and he has anything to say, but we'll be glad to discuss it. And anyone, any council person that may have an idea as to how you feel we should honor Dave, just give us a holler.
Is Brett on the meeting?
Yes, sir. I'm bringing him in right now for you.
Okay.
Hi, everybody, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, so, at the, last land trust meeting, the land trust actually decided to vote to name that 7 Adams Lane property after Dave. I believe they agreed on the name Westcott Memorial Park. Also, Dave was the president of Rhode Island Envirothon, which is an educational environmental organization out of URI. And they have set aside, I believe, $1,800 and change dollars to give to us to create a bench or some kind of plaque or maybe a sign. So I believe Ken Conti told me that the town council will have to vote to approve the receiving of that fund. So.
Okay, would you have how we would go about that, or would you?
So
That on
he
the
sent
agenda?
a letter. Sorry, he sent a letter to the planning department. I sent that to Troy, so I hope he was able to transmit that to you. If not, I have a copy of the letter formally requesting that they are able to donate the funds for a memorial for Dave.
Okay,
Yeah, looks like
I
Mark
got
Welch does it. Oh, you got it too? Perfect.
Yep, I got it. Okay, what we'll do is we'll put that on the June, the final budget hearing. We'll just put that vote on that. The town clerk's on. I'll have her add that, and we'll go from there.
Okay, great.
All right. Thank you very much, Brett, and thank you, Mayor, for bringing that up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
No problem.
Is there any questions on the Dave Westcott Memorial? Okay, item number 14, Caravilli Street. Councilman Famagetti requests discussion and possible vote on paving of Caravilli Street.
Thank you, Mr.
So if
President.
I may bring you, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
That's
Steph.
okay. I was just gonna say, I was reached out by a resident of Caraville Street. Wanted to know if we can include this on our paving list. I know the administration controls this, and a lot of different factors factor in, such as utility work and whatnot. So I just wanted to put it on the agenda to make the administration aware of it. But go ahead, Mayor, if you wanted to chime in.
Oh, just to let you know, when we receive the list of the streets are going to be paved by the grid, we received that street. Now, when we had called and wanted to know when those streets are going to get paved, we need to do some work on Top Hill. So we've been going round and around and told them, hey, look, you got to get the work on Top Hill done because you got Vivian, Caraville, Benedict, and Piave Street. That Top Hill ties them all in. So the only thing I can tell you, there's been a discussion, and all of those streets in that area will be paved, and we got the push on them because we told them we're not waiting another year. Those streets have already been repaired a year ago. Now you're doing Top Hill. You should have did it then so they all could get paved at the same time. So we're on top of it, and the street's going to get done.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. So thanks for allowing me to speak, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, see you later, Mike.
All right, man. Okay, let's go back to number 4, Lucky Cottage Incorporated, DBA Lucky Cottage. Summons was delivered to Kevin Lau, registered agent for Lucky Cottage Incorporated, DBA Lucky Cottage, located at 1610 Mineral Spring Avenue, North Providence, Rhode Island, for a formal hearing and possible vote concerning the BV liquor license for this establishment and the failure to complete the requirements to renew said license. This item was continued from the April meeting. Is anyone here from Lucky Cottage?
Sir, I have a hand raised from Valentino and Linda Lombardi.
Okay, Your Honor, just state your name for the record, please.
Hold on, I'm bringing them in right now, sir. Go ahead, you can speak.
Okay. As the council had graciously granted a continuance from the April meeting, when I sent a letter stating what the situation is, my client's situation. Basically, the situation has changed a little bit, but not greatly, in that he was forced to leave the Mineral Spring Avenue property. As you know, it's Mr. Greco was doing other things there, and he was looking around for a location. He did negotiate a location on Charles Street, the old Coy Palace location. He negotiated a lease for that, and wants to move there. He had to do some renovation work there that needed to be done, and he's been doing that. It's cost him some money, and of course, this is all without the benefit of having any income at all from his restaurant whatsoever. He's had no income, like a lot of businesses have had no income in this past year because of the pandemic and other things. And he's got a partner with him to help him with the financing. And we would hope that the council, I know the council is anxious because there are a lot of people looking for liquor license, a lot of establishments, you know, and but he would like to be able to give him some time, maybe the rest of this month, to come up with the monies that he's needed. He said he would do it, straighten out with the state also, so that he can open and transfer his liquor license to that location with the council approval. And after that has to be filed, an application has to be filed with the council, and you have to hear it at a meeting. I know you're not meeting in July, but I think you're meeting at the end of June rather than July. So I don't know if we could get it on the agenda before then, or might have to wait until a possible August meeting. But I want to assure you that he has told me that and I told him that he can't operate anything without coming up with the monies that's necessary to pay his back taxes to the town, plus the fee for the liquor license, which has been due for 6 or 7 months now. And also straighten out with the state, which he has been doing. There's not too much problem with the state because he didn't have much business, so he didn't have much sales tax. It's just a matter of filing the forms, his accountant's filing the forms. He has contacted the Department of Health. And so he's ready to go at the new location once it's ready. And it's close to being ready, but again, without a food and beverage license, he can't operate. But that's where we are right now.
So, Your Honor, you're looking for a 30-day extension,
Yes, if I can have it.
and he has entered into a lease with the Old Koi Palace.
Yes, I forget the name, the address on
I know, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
on Charles Street.
Does anybody have any questions for Judge Lombardi,
Mr. President,
Councilman?
I mean, my big concern originally was that, we had a floating license out there, which, I think is frowned upon, might be too light a word to use in the liquor licensing world. But considering that he does have a lease at a new location now, that makes me feel a lot better. So I wouldn't have any issue with granting some sort of an extension to try and get him up and running again.
Okay, does anybody have any other questions? Councilman Di Lorenzo?
I think that if he came to the town clerk's office and showed a lease, that it will be a little more comfortable for everybody.
Okay,
I could do that tomorrow if necessary.
thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Does anybody have any other questions? I'd like to entertain a motion to grant a 30-day extension on this license.
So move.
Motion's been made by, I missed that. Who was that?
Me.
Councilman Famagetti, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Amorigi. Any questions? Ralph, any questions from the public?
No hands raised from the public, sir.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. Item number 5, liquor license notice was given. Thank you. Item number 5, liquor license notice was given of a public hearing to be held on this date in the Providence Journal on May 17th and 24th, 2021 for a new BV limited liquor license for Teddy Hanna, DBA Teddy Hanna, 1342 Douglas Avenue, Suite 4, North Providence, Rhode Island. Is anybody here from Teddy Hanna?
Anyone here from Teddy Hanna? Can you raise your hand, please, in the audience? Anyone from Teddy Hanna in the audience, could you please raise your hand? I have none, Mr. President.
Okay, I'll ask to entertain a motion to remove this matter from the agenda.
So move.
Miss-
So move.
Motion's been made by Councilman Di Lorenzo. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Bacala. Go ahead, Councilman Matone.
Yeah, my only concern is that there are some pretty substantial fees associated with advertising and getting a radius map done and that kind of thing. So, it also looks like someone's raising their hand, but
I think someone just raised.
but the only thing I would say is that my preference would be to continue it just so that they don't have to pay the Providence Journal fees again and that kind of thing. I mean, it could be as simple as a mix up or a technical issue. So I just don't want to put anybody at a financial hardship by totally passing it off the agenda as opposed to continuing it. But that would just be my preference.
Ralph, is there someone there?
Yes, there's someone here. It looks like it might be them. Let me bring them in.
Okay.
Council President, while he's waiting, I don't know if I have to wait for this one, him to get on, but I'd also like a recommendation from the police department on this too. I mean, moving it, send it there before we even vote, we can listen, but before we vote on anything and doing anything else, I definitely want some clarification on a couple of things, so.
Yeah, that's gonna be my suggestion before anything is voted upon.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna rescind that motion. Councilman Famagetti, if you rescind that motion to move this off the agenda.
I don't think it was mine. Was it?
Mario's.
Councilman Martone, no.
I don't think it was mine either.
Well, I'm just going by whose voice I heard, but okay. Go ahead, sir. Just state your name for the record. You're on mute.
He's unmuted, but he has a audio problem.
Okay, can you hear us now?
There you go.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hold the phone up towards your faces so we can see you?
Hello?
Yeah.
It's very low.
Okay,
Can you
go
hear
ahead.
us?
I can't hear nothing.
Go ahead, you can speak.
Can you hear us?
Can't hear anything.
Ralph, can you tell them we're gonna come back to them?
Okay,
No, the
I think
headphones
they
is
can-
on.
I think they can hear you.
Oh my God.
We can hear them as well.
Hello?
Can you hear us
Yes.
now?
Okay, yeah, you gotta put it against your ear.
Yes, I'm from Teddy Hana, stand-up chair.
Okay. Can you just, can you hear us?
Yes, I could definitely hear you, but it's my first time using it, so it's kind of a little hard on me, but I can definitely hear you.
Okay. Okay, sir. There are some questions, council, we have regarding your record. And usually when this happens, before we grant a license, we'd have to get clarification from our police department.
Okay,
Okay, they would just have to look into it, make sure that, it's, you're suited to have a liquor license in the town. We know that all the abutters were notified. Is there any questions for him while he's on? So I will make a motion to grant this pending a recommendation from our police department, or Mario, maybe you want to help me out.
Yeah, so what I think, I actually think what maybe makes the most sense is, if, my other concern is that, whether it's 200 feet from the school.
Yeah, so
So-
I want to.
So what I would do is, I would make a motion to continue this matter to a date certain. I don't know if it makes sense to continue it to the June 20. What date is that we're having the next meeting?
June 21st.
June 21st. So I would make a motion to continue it to June 21st and make a request and send a correspondence, or have our clerk send a correspondence to the police department, asking them for a recommendation with regard to this operator, and also correspondence to our building department for them to take a look at the map, or to go out there, whatever is easier for them, to make a determination as to how close this particular location is to the school. And just the reason I'm asking this for the applicant is because there is a state law that prohibits any liquor license within 200 feet of a church or a school. So if it is within 200 feet, we don't even have the jurisdiction to think about it. So the police recommendation is really only going to be pertinent if you're not within 200 feet of Stephen Only School, which is the closest location like that to you. So that would be my request, would be a continuance to June 21st with correspondence to the police station and to the police department and the building department.
Okay, a motion's been made by Councilman Martone. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Laportio. Is there any questions? Is there any questions from the applicant or the public?
No, I have no questions.
Okay, all those in favor?
All right.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kenny, can you take over for one? My pen ran out of ink and I gotta go find it. Has some in it.
Yes, absolutely. So we are on item number 6, victualling license. Town council to consider approval of a victualling license for Chloe's Cones LLC, DBA Chloe's Cones, 930 Charles Street, North Providence, Rhode Island. Do I have anyone here from the applicant? Ralph, is anyone raising their hand?
Oh, I got one. Oh, hold on. Sorry, Councilman Famagetti, I booted you out instead of the earlier person.
Yeah, we don't need him. That's fine.
He's still there.
I just brought him back. No, sir, no hands raised from the public.
Okay, much like the last one, I am assuming we will just pass this off the agenda for now, unless there's any objection to that.
Well, I'm assuming, if I may just say, we're moving it over, I mean, if they sell ice cream cones and everything, we don't get this to the next, they might be losing out on a month's worth of ice cream cone sales, but I'm just asking from a business standpoint, is there any harm in talking about it or doing anything, or we definitely need them on here, so.
I mean, I would defer to legal counsel on that, Ronnie. But I think from past experience, we've always required for a new license, we've always required them to appear. Unless there's, again, unless Mark has any thoughts to the contrary.
No, I agree. They should be here to present. The question is, like the Councilman McCullough says, though, if we pass it off, they may not get heard till August. So.
I do see that the Council President Audiello is back in the room. Could we theoretically maybe have the clerk's office reach out to them tomorrow and put them on the June 21st agenda?
Yeah, do that.
May I ask, sir, if would Troy know any of the names of the applicants so I can see if they're in this list and they just don't know how to raise their hand?
Hey, can you hear me? It's Troy.
Yes.
I cannot recall their names. I did get confirmation though. I sent the codes to the applicants and I got confirmation.
The name is Mark Cavallo.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, that's the name on the application.
That's what's on the application, so I'm assuming.
Okay. They confirmed that they were going to join, so I'm not sure, what's going on their end.
Mr. President.
If I can, on the top of the attendees list, there is a cell phone number that matches the top number that Chloe's. If you look at the top of our attendees.
Oh, that's right. Good catch, Steve.
5703.
Thank you.
Is that's them?
That's them.
Okay, I'll bring them in.
There you go. He's muted.
In your screen, a window pop up and say unmute. There you go.
Hello.
There you go.
Yes, this is Mark Cavallo from Chloe's Cones.
Hello, Mr. Carvalho. You're obviously here for the North Providence Town Council on your application for a victualling license for Chloe's Cones. Do any of the council members have any questions for the applicant? No? Okay. There being no questions, I actually do have a question. Well, first, a statement. Thank you for putting some time and effort into that building. As you know, it's been vacant for quite a while, and I think myself and Councilman Familetti and Councilman Audiello from the area definitely excited to see something happening there. In the event that we grant your license, Mr. Carvalho, how close are you to opening?
I would say about a week and a half to 2 weeks away.
Okay, and is this your first venture of this sort, or do you have any experience in the ice cream business or any sort of victualling business?
I've had a previous business in the past, nothing to do with ice cream, but yeah, this is my first time with ice cream.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, one question. How many flavors of chocolate do you have?
4.
I'm in trouble.
Well, I would think not owning an ice cream shop myself ever, I would say the first item of business not to let it melt. So if I can give any constructive criticism.
Gotcha.
Speaking from a voice of experience.
If I may, Mr. Carvalho, I actually, by no means am I trying to be an obstructionist. I'm just trying to get out in front of any issues. I know we've had some issues in that location in the past with parking. Who's the landlord for that building?
His name is Iman. Hold on, let me get you his last name.
No, I'm fine. I know who he is. He owns the shop next door.
The muffler place. Yeah, the muffler. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Now, will he be letting some of your patrons park there when the muffler shop is closed?
I haven't talked to him about that yet. I'm sure he won't mind, but I got to run it by him first. So we'll see.
Okay. I mean, my suggestion there is, and again, just to help you, if anything, there's been some issues with people parking on both sides of that side street, either whether it be Charlotte Street or Curtis. There's been a variety of parking issues over the last half a dozen years or so. So I would just, encourage you to speak to the landlord and just make sure that you have everything lined up for that.
Okay, gotcha.
Anyone else? Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the license.
A motion has been made by Councilman Familetti. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Bacala. Any further discussion or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Congratulations and welcome to the neighborhood.
Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Is Council President back or you
Yep.
want me to? Okay.
Thank you, Ken. Item number 7, victualling license, town council to consider approval of a victualling license for Abraham Grahib, DBA Sammy's House of Pizza, 1388 Mineral Spring Avenue, North Providence, Rhode Island. Ralph, is anybody here from Sammy's House of Pizza?
Yes, sir. I'm bringing him in right now. Oh, he's all set. He's in.
Okay, just state your name for the record, sir.
So my name is Abraham Graham.
Okay, does anybody have any questions? Okay, there being none, do I have a motion to entertain the victualling license?
So moved.
Motion been named by Councilman Laporte. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Martone. Any questions from the public, Ralph?
No one with the hand raised, sir.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Good luck and thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Item number 8, peddler vendor license, discussion and possible action and vote with regard to the approval by the town council of a peddler vendor license for Brenda Person, DBA Frosty Bar Ice Cream, 85 Sunset Avenue, North Providence, Rhode Island. Is Brenda Person here?
Yep, I'm bringing him in right now.
Video. Hello,
Hello? Can you just state your name for the record, please?
Brenda Person.
Okay. Just tell us a little brief description of your business.
It's an ice cream truck called the Frosty Bar that we'd like to get on the road ASAP before the summer ends.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Ms. Pearson?
Yeah, I have a question.
Councilman?
I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm stepping outside. Hi, Brenda, how are you? How did you go from the printing business to the ice cream business?
Well, I still have the printing business, but my husband and I have always been passionate about having an ice cream truck, so we found an opportunity.
Good.
We're gonna try it out.
I'm glad to hear it. For anybody who doesn't know, Brenda and her husband own EB Printing. on Mineral Spring, of course, somewhere Burger King used to be the best print shop in town. So
Thank you.
try them out if you need anything.
Maybe
Okay,
you
do I
can
have a
get
motion?
Dino's dog some ice cream.
That's not mine. That's
Hey,
not my dog.
we're gonna have doggy ice cream too.
For once, that is not my dog. So do I have a motion to approve the peddler license?
So moved.
So moved.
Motion been made by Councilman Amorigi, seconded by Councilman Bacala. Any questions?
I have one question.
Councilman Martell?
Have you guys gotten the state registration for the truck?
Yeah, well, we're in the process of registering the truck. We have insurance on it. We have LLC insurance. We have business insurance. We have the truck insured. We're in the process of getting the truck registered. We went today, but we have to go back tomorrow.
So I think there's, if you look on the Department of Business Regulation website, I think there's a registration through them that specifically for a mobile food vendor.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you just make sure that that you get that squared away. Just
I did
Okay,
go on
perfect.
there and do that. Thank you.
Perfect.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Be around.
Item number 9, peddler vendor license, discussion and possible action and vote with regard to the approval by the town council of a peddler vendor license for Shauna Erickson, DBA Remade in the US, 3 Clements Lane, Johnston, Rhode Island. Is Shauna Erickson here?
Yes, sir. I'll bring them in right now.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, how are you? Just please state your name for the record.
Sure, this is Shauna Erickson and I'm here with Rafael Florio.
Thank you.
Thank you for adding us to the agenda.
No problem. Just please give a brief description of your business.
Well, basically, she's the brains behind the operation. I do the work, but
We're repurposing wooden furniture, so things that are made in the USA, we're repurposing them into, basically it's sort of a craft of potted plants that are in old chairs and just sort of a nostalgia feel for things that are made in the US that get a new life.
That's a great concept and I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Does anybody have any questions? Councilman Di Lorenzo? You're on mute.
You're muted, D.
Sorry. Congratulations. If you can reach out to me or I'll reach out to you tomorrow, we can use someone like you at the Centennial Festival.
We already signed up, actually.
This was part of the process. We were hoping to be at the festival.
I'm very good friends with Paula Iacono, and
good.
she recommended the festival. And so we decided maybe we should get a peddler's license and, be at the festival and maybe some other opportunities.
Well, please reach out and talk to me about that if you don't mind, or Steve Laporcio, Mario, or Ron Bacala, either one of us.
I'd be very happy
Thank
to
you
reach
so
out.
much. We would.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the peddler
So
vendor
moved.
license?
So
Motion been
moved.
made by Councilman Di Lorenzo. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Laporcio. Any further questions? Ralph, any questions from the public?
Mr. President, I just had one question.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a physical location, or how are you going to be actually selling this stuff? Is it online or?
Well, we are looking to explore things like going to the artist festival in Centerdale. We don't yet have a quote unquote shop. This is just getting off the ground.
Okay.
Do you have a website?
I do. It's remadeintheus.com. We're still building that. The email on it is active. It's info@remadeintheus.com. And the homepage should be up very soon. This is a brand new thing, and
We're trying to get a sense of the appetite for it.
yeah, it started on Nextdoor, honestly.
Any other questions?
Good luck to you.
All right,
Thank-
motion
Good
been
luck,
made.
good luck.
All in favor?
Thank you very
Aye.
much.
Get in
Good
touch,
luck.
get in touch.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you,
We
we
will
will.
be. Thank you.
Okay, item number 10, expansion of liquor license outdoor dining premises of JL and Bowery Investments LLC, DBA JL's Danish Sports Lounge. Received a request from Lisa Nasur, owner of JL and Bowery Investments LLC, DBA JL's Danish Sports Lounge, for permission for expansion of liquor license dining premises at JL Danish Sports Lounge, 1410R Middle Spring Avenue. Is anyone here from Danish Sports Lounge?
Anyone here from Dana Sports Lounge? Can you raise your hand, please? Yep, hold on, bring them in a minute. Go ahead.
Okay, just state your name for the record, please.
Dana, you have no audio.
Dana, can you hear us?
I am. Can you hear
us?
me?
Yes, now we
I
can.
can hear you. Okay, good. I've
Can you
never
hear
done a
me?
Zoom meeting, so.
Can you state your name for the record, please?
Yep, it's Dana Cambria.
Okay, and what is the, just give a brief description of what you're trying to do here.
Well, I know that last year that a bunch of the businesses or restaurants around town were able to expand outside, and we didn't know that we could. And it's summertime, and we'd like to expand outside. One with, COVID still being around a little bit, to give our customers some space and some choices, and sort of requesting to be outside. So we have planned to put up a fence of doors and fence in the entire area.
You're breaking up. We can't hear you at all.
I'm sorry, I'm up in Gloucester. I was at my daughter's softball game.
If I could just jump in, cut right through the fat.
Go ahead, Councilman.
All right, so Dana, if you can hear me, I don't know if it's breaking up on your end. What we did is, in response to the pandemic, we passed a temporary outdoor dining ordinance that allowed the businesses to expand outside since capacity inside was limited. We decided to expand that to the first Tuesday of August unless we extend or let it lapse now. So you should be able to fit within that, but there are certain things that you have to go through in order to comply. You need to make sure that what you're doing is complying with zoning, the zoning parking regulations. Also have to make sure that it complies with all fire codes. So you have to talk to the fire chief. And then you also have to submit a drawing plan with our town clerk. So there are a few things that you have to go through
Yeah,
in
I
order
tried
to qualify that.
answer the phone.
Okay. I'm not
Okay,
sure.
if you do that, you should be all set.
All
Okay,
right, so we have to, okay,
if you have any questions, call the clerk's office and we'll explain it to you tomorrow when you can, if you can hear us better.
all right, yeah, that'll be good. I'm sorry, I'm out at my daughter's softball game in Gloucester.
That's fine. Okay, have a
Just
good day.
keep in
Hope she
mind-
wins.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Keep in mind that it's only, at this point, only lasts until the first Tuesday in August, so.
Okay,
I don't know what you're planning on doing over there, but, you might want to not invest so much if it's only going to be a temporary thing. I don't want to provide the impression that this is a free license in perpetuity.
yeah.
Dino.
Yep.
Stefano, if you don't mind, can you please explain to her the hours that come along with that? Because.
Oh, yes, Mark, if you can remind me, it does come, the outdoor service has to end at, Mark, I think, what did we say, 11 o'clock?
11 o'clock.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. Thank you.
Okay. All right, that sounds good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 11, Hollywood Lounge received request from Tracy Taglione for discussion and possible vote on the possibility of adding a police presence at Hollywood Bar and Lounge. Is Tracy Taglione here?
Yeah, I'm bringing her in now.
Okay.
Good evening, members of the town council. Can you hear me?
Yes, just please
Yes.
state your name for the record.
Sure. My name is Tracy Taglione, and I live on Rockwell Street. Let me just turn my video on for a second so you can see me. I'm off Mineral Spring Avenue. I'm right behind the Lowe's. So tonight I'm here to request that Hollywood Bar and Lounge pay for a North Providence police detail each Saturday night during their operating business hours. Since Hollywood Bar and Lounge opened about a year ago, the patrons of this establishment continue to ignore the no parking signs and disturb the peace on the street. First, there's not enough parking spots to accommodate the patrons of this bar. There are a total of 16 parking spots combined between the front and rear lots where Hollywood Bar and Lounge is located at 1759 Mineral Spring Avenue, and their rear lot is at the beginning of Rockwell Street. The busiest night of the week is Saturday night. Once both of these lots are full, customers begin turning around in our driveways with their music blaring and park on Rockwell Street. However, there are resident-only permit parking signs that line both sides of the street. To prevent the disturbance of drinkers looking for parking outside of our homes, one resident has lined the first half of our street with traffic cones to prevent late-night parking. Although this has deterred a few, it is not aesthetically pleasing and unfair to have to live in a neighborhood that requires cones at all times of our homes, outside of our homes. I wish I could say that this were my only concern, but unfortunately it is not. The trash, public urination, and drunk driving are also cause for grave concern. The customers of the bar and the bar itself leave a slew of trash. The building department of North Providence had to clean the trash left behind by the owners and customers once so far, and it is beginning to build again. I have seen beer bottles, plastic cups, cardboard boxes, whole liquor bottles left on the lawns of my neighbors, in the rear parking lot, on the side of the building, and on the beginning of Rockwell Street. Unfortunately, this is a common sight after closing time, Thursday through Sunday nights. It is also common to see these bottles becoming shattered as the regular traffic pattern emerges in and out of Rockwell Street the following day. It is not fair for residents to have an extra expense of new tires in addition to all the bills we pay, such as taxes, due to broken glass on the street. And for some reason, these customers do not wish to use the restroom found in this establishment. Instead, they urinate at either end of Rockwell Street and also across the street from our homes on the property that abuts the back of Lowe's. Other neighbors and myself have witnessed this on numerous occasions, both men and women alike doing this as after they leave the bar. Finally, driving drunk up and down adjacent streets may cause someone to become seriously injured or a serious automobile accident. On March 13th, 2021, at around midnight, a drunk driver, I'm assuming, drove drunk down Rockwell Street, turned around in my driveway and hit our van and then fled the scene. Thankfully, there was little damage and we did not need to pursue the issue any further than the initial request for police assistance. As taxpayers of the town, we should not have to guard our property and worry about the safety of our families as folks engage in lewd and drunken acts. We also should not have to live with traffic cones as a permanent fixture on the street. My neighbors know that I have spoken on many occasions to Councilmember Collar about this issue, and I hope they will speak tonight to feel the need for a police detail on a Saturday evening at the very least, to help with the end of the street parking, the disturbance of the peace, and to make sure the customers take their trash with them. I really appreciate your time and consideration on this matter. I'd like to just say one last thing. My neighbor, Mrs. Pucci, wished to speak tonight, but she unexpectedly was hospitalized Sunday night. She would be here this evening. And I would just like to say that everything that I said tonight, just now, she stands behind.
Tell her I was asking for her. She's a wonderful person. I've spoken to her in the past, and we wish her, all the help. I'm just gonna make a quick statement. From being the most experienced member on this council, which I don't know if is a good thing. That means I'm getting old fast, but it's just, it's really disappointing that this is becoming a consistent problem. And I just know that, this is this is a very talented council. The most responsive council I've ever been on to our constituents. And I know I don't speak for just myself, I speak for all of us. We're not going to continue to tolerate this nightclub behavior in the town of North Providence. We are still a bedroom community, and this is becoming a consistent pattern. These nightclubs are not welcome in town, and I don't want them. I know you guys don't want them. And frankly, I think it's time that we're going to have our police department take a closer look at these places. I know, the guys from District 1, you guys have been all over this. We've chatted about it. What are your thoughts?
If I may speak, Steve, first, I think what we need to do is what we did with another establishment and at least require them to have a police detail, at least for the Saturday night right now, like Mrs. Taglione said. I mean, who knows in the future if it subsides, they can just have a Saturday. It may have to go to Friday, Saturday. But I think right now, starting on a Saturday, at least to give the neighbors a little bit more, a sound mind of, that we're doing something, being proactive, and give them a little bit of, to make sure they know their concerns are being met with, and that's it. I say we send a letter to the establishment saying they have to have a police detail on a Saturday night. I'll let Mr. Laporte say that.
Yep, Mr. President, if I could, to echo Ron's words, we really have to put our foot down with that establishment. I've spoken to soon-to-be new Chief Ruggiero. It is definitely something that they're aware of, and they are saying much the same. We need to patrol that area. We need to have, bare minimum, we should have them paying for a patrolman there on duty for a detail. And he seems to believe that is a place that we really do not need in our town as well. So to the residents in the immediate area, be patient with us on this. This is something that's on the radar. Councilman McCollar and I have spoken about it as well. So we're on this, and we're going to make sure that we make this disappear. This problem.
Councilman DiLorenzo, do you have a question?
Yeah, I do. I think my question is more for Mark Welch, maybe Mario, because you guys know about licenses and stuff. Is there any sanctions that the town council can give to those businesses by doing what they're doing? Are there any sanctions that we can do?
Yes, there are, obviously, but you need to first summons them in, as we've done in the past, and issue them a summons and give them, adhere to their due process rights, and put in the summons what problems that you have been reported and what you want to have them in for. And once you have them in, depending upon how egregious the problems are, there is obviously several different steps you could take disciplinary wise, whether it be a fine, whether it be a suspension, all the way up to revocation. So, but you first have to summons them in, put them on notice for a formal hearing. And that would be also, Councilman, if you're talking about sanctions with even the detail officer, you can't just order a detail officer, unfortunately, without the license holder present, without the license holder summons. You can't just order a detail just by sending them a letter. So I would suggest, some other alternatives in the meantime, while we are summoning them in because of these problems.
Mark, so basically you have to make a motion to summons them in on maybe the June 21st meeting, seeing that we have other stuff going on. I mean, I don't want it to wait too long, because we can't wait till August. Let's be honest, the summer will be over and it'll be a lot more. So, if I have to make a motion to send a letter summoning them to the June 21st meeting to come in front of the council and explain, tell them what we got for infractions and what we hear from the concerns, and then let them answer it, and then we can exactly, look at and see what we got to do to revocate everything.
I think that would be a proper motion, Councilman.
Okay, a motion's been made by Councilman Bacala. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Laportio. Is there any questions? Any questions from the public?
Mr. President, I just have a
I do have a hand raised, sir.
All right, wait, Councilman Famagetti, you had a question?
Yeah, on the 21st, it seemed like we're stacking up our agenda. And this will probably will be a lengthy hearing, and I plan on also calling for a hearing for another establishment later on in this agenda. I just want to make sure that we're going to have enough time that it'll be appropriate to stack them both on those days, or if there's another day that we should have these hearings on.
Let's plan on doing them on the same night for now.
Okay.
You have a motion on the floor to issue the summons.
Yeah.
So that motion can be for the 21st or another a night that the council president picks for that hearing.
Okay, a motion's been made by Councilman Bacala, seconded by Councilman Laportio. Ralph, you said there was a member of the public that had a question.
There's two now. Yep, I'm gonna bring in Abdul. Okay, you may.
Yes, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. Just say your name.
Good evening, everybody. Yes, this is Abdul CDB from 14 Rockwell Street. I'm basically trying to echo exactly what Tracy said about the club. So I'm the first house right next door to the club. Just like she said, I moved in North Providence about 5 years ago. I'm active duty military. I'm currently.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. From the naval base in Newport. I barely can sleep at night. It probably starts from like let's say Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and it's my property was vandalized twice. I wake up in the morning, there's like rocks inside my house, it breaks the glass. I even reported it to the police, and I spoke to the owner of the club / bar, whatever it is. It's just like we can't continue the way it is right now. Every other days, I'm outside my house, basically cleaning up, picking up trash. It's like garbage, broken bottles, cigarette, food all over the place. To a point, it's just out of hand. So any help from you guys will be appreciated. Just like Tracy Echo, a detail. I don't think Saturday night alone will help. Even Friday, if we can get like 2 days during the week, Friday night, Saturday night, it will be appreciated. I'm the first house. I barely can sleep at night. And my next door neighbor who's basically in the hospital right now, she doesn't sleep either. We're always on the phone to a point we have to get some cones so people don't park there. Even with that, they removed it, parked there on top of our grass. They disrespect the whole neighborhood. So any assistance, any help will be appreciated.
Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilman?
Yeah, so I had a question for the residents. Is that street totally no parking, resident parking? What's that? What is on that street?
It's no parking.
Resident parking only.
So
resident parking only, sorry.
So I don't know if this needs to be done in a second motion or we can add it, but what I would do is I would request, I think what we should do is send a correspondence to the police department and ask them to go there every single night and tag every car that's on the street and tow them if necessary. I think if people start getting the message they can't park on that street, and I don't think we need to I don't think that impacts the club at all. I don't think it violates the due process rights. That's a street that people are not permitted to park on. Police have every right to tag every car that's on that street and tow them if necessary. And that's what I think they should do.
Okay, first motion's been made by Councilman Bacala, seconded by Councilman Laportio. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Council President, can I ask one more thing, just so we have it for that meeting?
Let me
Can we
just
get?
all right, second motion's been made by Councilman Martone. Is there a second?
Second.
Who seconded that? I'm sorry.
Second.
Councilman Bacala. All right, Councilman Bacala, go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion too on that note to get any police reports call logs or anything we have for the last couple of months, because even though, I mean, I know the neighbors are saying they can't sleep, they have that, which obviously is a main concern, but I also want to know if the police have gone there and you know, and actually have, you know, had to stop any fights, had to do any altercations, or had to tag as many cars as we got, so at least we can see what the activity is, you know, right from that, if that's okay, if I can make that motion.
Okay, so the second motion was made by Councilman Martone, seconded by Councilman Bacala. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Yeah, the ayes have it. A third motion requesting police reports for the June 21st summons hearing was made by Councilman Bacala. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Laportio. Any questions?
Yeah, Council President, can we, Ronnie, I don't know if you want to modify your motion, or what I would request or what I would suggest is that any police, one, that the police get those police reports to us as soon as possible. And then two, those police reports are attached to any summons that we send to them. I think that'll help us in our hearing, that we provide them with a little bit of information prior to them coming. So I don't know if we can.
Mr. President.
Councilman.
Also, Mario, you might want to put on that motion that you're going to make to have the police department at those hearings. So.
Yeah, well, yeah, listen, I agree. I think that, you know, particularly if we're talking about potential violations that occurred while police were present or that police responded to, I think it makes sense to have a police representative there to tell us what happened. So, you know, I know we're going to talk about the other place at some point, but yeah, I would certainly request that, one, the police get us the reports, and two, that there is a representative from the police department, ideally the officer that actually observed some of this stuff, but that may not be possible. So someone from the police department to let us know what's going on.
All right.
So, Council President, I'd like to modify my motion to include all three.
Okay. A motion's been made by Councilman Bacala. Is there anything else that anyone wants to add?
Council President, you still have.
Yeah. Let me just get this second. Seconded by Councilman Laportio. All right. Ralph, I know there's another hand raise.
Yep, there's two more. Crystal's had her hand up the whole time. Hold on.
Okay. Crystal, just please state your name for the record.
Go ahead, Crystal.
Hi, my name is Crystal Destraden. I'm here with Denise Destraden. We live off of Rockwell on Davis, so it's a dead end, off of a dead end. I just wanted to verify that Tracy and Abdu have said 100% that everything is going on. Because there's just a few more things. There's been condoms. Like the trash is literally going up onto the top of Lowe's. Last time, I'm gonna have Denise tell you, she had spoken to Mike, an inspector. Mike, you want to go over?
Yeah, I have spoken to Mike Cannavale. He is in the inspector at the planning department. Such a super nice guy. Spoke many times. He had tried numerous times to get in touch with the owner of the bar and the guy who owns the property. Neither one has ever gotten back to him. The guy that owns the property lives, I believe, in Massachusetts somewhere. He finally had the crew from the state go down and clean up, and he told me it was worse than what we could see. And he said he put a lien against the property. Now, I don't know, I don't have proof of that, but that's what he said he did. So I know the owner of the property was there, and he basically painted yellow stripes and went on his way. The whole building is like falling apart. It looks disgusting. The stairs do not look safe. It's just a mess. It's just a total mess.
Okay, thank you. And Ralph, I know there was one more person. I don't mean to cut it short, but we are going to have a hearing on this on June 21st.
Okay,
So
put his hand down, sir.
we have to have the owners present at that hearing. And I think, as you could tell by the commentary, this council is very willing to take actions to help, you know, the residents out. But we have to have a formal hearing on this, deliver a summons. So you'll be notified about that, and we'll go from there. So thank you for coming before us tonight.
Thank you.
Is it, Ralph, is there anyone
Thank you,
else?
everyone.
Nope, that other lowered their hand, sir.
Okay, Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Okay. Item number 12, we did. Item number 13, Centerdale Festival. Councilman Di Lorenzo requests discussion and possible vote concerning the Centerdale Festival. Councilman Di Lorenzo.
Well, you know, I put it on there strictly to let everyone know. First of all, thank you for everybody's help. To let everyone know that the festival dates have been changed to September 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Thank you,
From the-
Councilman, and thank you for your leadership on this. I think the town is very excited about this.
Yeah, it seems like it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for Councilman Di Lorenzo? Okay. Item number 15, Clarence Street. Councilman Famagetti requests discussion and possible vote on parking issues on Clarence Street. Councilman?
Thanks, Mr. President. So I'll be very brief. This is a dead end street. There's some parking issues going on. I'd like to make a motion that we refer this to the ordinance committee.
Okay, a motion has been made by Councilman Famagetti. Is there a second?
Second.
By Councilman Martone. Any questions? There be none. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 16, 787 Restaurant and Lounge. Councilman Famagetti requests discussion and possible vote on a review of all licenses for 787 Restaurant and Lounge. Councilman.
Thank you, Mr. President. So this is an issue that we're used to at this point. We've been pretty much almost every month, we've been having 787 on the agenda, and it's similar issues that were talked about with Hollywood Lounge. A petition was circulated and sent to all of you. I don't recall off the top of my head how many signatures were there, but there were a significant amount. The petition calls for a revocation of all licenses for this establishment. What I would like to do is similarly to what we did with Hollywood, I'd like to have a summons be issued for a hearing matched up with the date of Hollywood Lounge, and we will also have our clerk notify the police department to be available, as well as send over all police reports as well.
Thank you, Councilman. That's in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Who said it? Councilman
Dino.
McCullough? Yep. It's motion been made and seconded by Councilman McCullough. Is there any questions?
The only thing I would say, Mr. President, obviously people are free to speak, but I would just remind them that this is not the hearing. The hearing will be at a later date, which is what did we decide on? Was it June 21st? Is that right?
Yes.
So, you know, I know people are probably eager to speak out, and you're more than welcome to, but you will have the opportunity at the hearing to express all of these concerns as well. And obviously I've been dealing with a lot of you as well, so I know what those concerns are, but those will all come out in the hearing as well. But I don't want to stop anybody from speaking, but at the same time, I just want to remind you that this is not the formal hearing.
I'll just reiterate what I said before. This is not a nightclub town, and simple. I stated it several meetings back. It's just not going to be tolerated, and that's that. You know, I know it's not easy. There will be some legal legs for them to stand on, but you know, I know this council will do its best to protect our neighborhoods from. We are not a nightclub town, and that's that. It's as simple as that. So, Councilman Amorigi, I think you have your hand up.
Yes, thank you, President Ordiello. I echo everything Councilman Famiglietti said and you said, and we don't need to be certainly beat a dead horse. I would say that over the life of this matter, which is literally since 787 opened, we've all been receiving information piecemeal, photographs, videos, letters, texts. There's so much evidence out there as to how 787 is literally just basically in the face of this council has just decided to operate as they see fit. So I would encourage, I see Antonio is in the waiting room, Antonio De Cristofaro, for this hearing to be as effective as possible. If you could take the lead or somebody take the lead, try to compile all of that evidence and get it to one of us or to the clerk's office, so that not only we can see it, but our colleagues on the council can see it, as well as the police department, because we've been seeing things, like I said, kind of in starts and fits. And I think it's appropriate to kind of put everything forward at this time for this hearing and show us really what's been going on for the past year and a half or so.
Thank you, Councilman, and I think that's a great idea. Does any other council members have any comments or questions? I also would like to send a letter to our police chief to, watch this hearing, review it, review all the information that's been passed along, and make sure he provides representation at that hearing that night, whether it be he himself, our community police officer, or whatever, but that is the form of a motion.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made by Councilman Laportio. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Famagetti. Briefly, would any members of the public like to speak? I think you all know where we stand on this matter. Ralph?
I have one bill. I'll bring them in. Go ahead and speak, Bill.
Yes, hello. My name is Bill Alsasa. I live across the street from it's on Easter Street, which been used as a parking lot for the club. I understand what you guys, but I would like to add something to that. I think that the club is violating the fire code. If you know, the fire code is definitely violated every night. There's no way they could fit that many people in that space. And that would be the most we could push back on these people is the fire code. I deal with this every day in my job and stuff. And if the fire department could check them out every night, they could shut them down. There's so many people in that place that definitely they cannot fit. We know they have valet parking for 70 cars. So if we assume 2 in the car, so we have 140 people, plus all the cars that have been parked all over the place, they definitely will exceed that number.
Mr. President, after we vote on our motion, I'd like to make a second motion.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Go ahead, Councilman.
Mr. President, I'd like to send a letter to the fire marshal to inspect the premises to make sure that 787 is in compliance with all fire codes and capacity.
Okay, motion's been made by Councilman Famagetti. Is there a second? Second by Councilman Amorigi. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Ralph, is there anyone else from the public?
No one else has their hand raised, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, item number 17, resignation letter. Receive letter of resignation to be accepted with regret from David R. Santilli from North Providence Board of Tax Review. Dear Mr. Kane and Council President Audiello, it has been an honor to serve the residents of North Providence as a tax review board member. However, it is with regret that I am writing to inform you of my resignation from this position as I have relocated to the city of Providence. I want to thank Council President Audiello and members of the Town Council, along with my fellow board members, for the opportunity to have served alongside them. I am grateful to have had this experience over the past couple of years and offer my best wishes for continued success in their endeavors as they lead the great town of North Providence. Very truly yours, David R. Santilli. I'd like to make the motion to accept that with regret.
So move.
That's motion's been made by Councilman Di Lorenzo. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Amorigi. And I just want to say thank you to David. I think we all know David. He's a great guy. Did a lot for the town, and he was an asset, and he will be sorely missed. So thank you, David, for all your hard work. Great person, and he has a very, very bright future. So with that being said, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 18, joint poll locations. Discussion and possible vote with regard to the approval by the Town Council of a petition from Verizon New England and National Grid for work on joint poll locations on Smithfield Road. Anybody have any questions? Do you have a motion to approve?
Moved.
Moved.
Who made that motion? I apologize.
Mario, maybe?
Yeah, I made the motion.
And my service is a little choppy tonight. Motion's been made by Councilman Martone. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Amorigi. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 19, claims submitted. Town council discussion and possible vote with regard to the claims received from the following: Evelyn Vecchierino, 101 Garfield Street, North Providence, RI 02904. Joseph F. Hook, Esquire, attorney for Lauren Toscano, 294 Valley Road, Middletown, Rhode Island, 02842. There a motion to send these to the claims committee?
Moved.
Motion made by Councilman Bacala. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Martone. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 20, Public Safety Committee report. Town council discussion and possible vote with regard to the Public Safety Committee report to be presented by Councilman Laportio. Councilman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I did send a communication today, hopefully regarding the past meeting. I don't know, has everyone had been able to peruse that and go over it?
Yes.
Can I ask for if there are any questions, first of all?
Is there any questions for Chairman Laportio?
So then I ask that the council make a motion to accept the report as written.
Okay, motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been made by Councilman Laportio, seconded by Councilman Martone. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 21, Ordinance Committee report. Town council discussion and action with regard to the Ordinance Committee report to be presented by Councilman Famagetti.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll try to go through this as quickly as I can. We have a lot of things coming out of it, but we met on May 26th. Just to highlight a few things that are coming out of the Ordinance Committee. We discussed the traffic issues, obviously part of a larger conversation, but traffic issues, particularly on Woodward Road. We decided that with the recommendation of the police department, that we would ask that the council send a request to DPW to work with Lieutenant Jones of the North Providence Police Department to cause 2 mock speed bump lines be painted on the southern side of Woodward Road in accordance with the police department recommendations as to locations. So I'd like to make a motion that we do that.
Okay, motion's been made by Councilman Famagetti. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Laportio. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.
Next, with regard to Woodward Road, similarly, we talked to Lieutenant Jones, and the committee is recommending that the council send a request to DPW to work with Lieutenant Jones of the police department to cause 2 flashing digital speed signs that record speed, not for ticketing purposes, but digitally record the speed on the southern side of Woodward Road in accordance with the police department's recommendations as to location, so as to not be a nuisance to the residents on the road. So I'll make that motion.
Motion been made by Councilman Famagetti. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Bacala. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Let's see. Next, speeding issues on Birchwood Drive. With regard to this, we worked with Lieutenant Jones, and we would like, I'd like to make a motion that the council request DPW work with Lieutenant Jones and cause 2 mock speed bump lines be painted on Birchwood Drive in accordance with the police department recommendations as to locations.
Okay, motion has been made by Councilman Famagetti. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Amorigi. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.
Next, on Angelo Avenue, I'd like to make a motion to have the council request DPW post signs indicating no parking 25 feet to the corner on each side of Angelo Avenue, 25 feet back from the intersection with Charles Street.
Okay, motion has been made by Councilman Famagetti. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Amorigi. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.
Similarly, with 25 McGuire Street, I'd like to make a motion that we send a request to the DPW to post a sign indicating no parking 25 feet to the corner on the west side of McGuire Street, 25 feet back from the intersection with Mineral Spring Avenue.
Okay, a motion's been made by Councilman Famagetti. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Amorigi. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right.
Next, before we accept or make a motion to accept the report, given the larger conversation around speeding issues, the frequent requests for speed bumps that I know we're all getting, I got 2 requests today alone. I think another way to attack this situation is by hopefully increasing the fines associated with speeding in residential neighborhoods. So my thought is that this council sends a resolution to the General Assembly asking for the schedule of traffic violations to include an enhanced fee for speeding offenses in residential areas. So I know we're going to need to have this be properly advertised. So I'd like to make a motion that at our next council meeting, we have a resolution drafted to this effect.
Okay, a motion's been made by Councilman Famagetti. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Laportio. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it.
And last, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the ordinance committee report.
Okay, a motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
By Councilman Famagetti, seconded by Councilman Martone. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 22, ordinance
I
introduction.
got a question, I got one question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Stefano,
Yes.
you got Humbert Street on your report, am I correct?
Yes, there's an ordinance coming out, Steve, that's gonna
Okay.
address that specifically.
Okay, all
That
right.
I'm gonna do right now, actually. Or, yes, I think it's now, yes.
Okay, item number 22, ordinance introduction. Oh, did you answer that? I'm sorry.
Yes, yeah, that's, his question is regarding an ordinance that's being introduced right now.
Okay, number 22, ordinance introduction, discussion and possible vote to introduce an ordinance amending chapter 19, article 10, section 19-30 of the Code of Ordinances of the Town of North Providence entitled No Parking on Certain Streets Generally to provide for certain parking restrictions on Humbert Street in the Town of North Providence. Do I have a motion to introduce?
So moved.
Okay, motion has been made by Councilman Famagetti,
Second.
seconded by Councilman Di Lorenzo. Any questions?
Mr. President, I think I have to say introduce and advertise for public hearing, so I'll amend my motion for that.
Okay, motion has been made by Councilman Famagetti, seconded by Councilman Di Lorenzo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 23, ordinance introduction, discussion and possible vote to introduce an ordinance amending chapter 19, article 10, section 19-47C of the Code of Ordinances of the Town of North Providence entitled One-Way Stop Signs to provide for a one-way stop sign on Waldo Street in the Town of North Providence. Is there a motion to introduce?
Move to introduce and advertise for public hearing.
Okay, a motion's been made by Councilman Famagetti. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Martone. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 24, ordinance introduction, discussion and possible vote to introduce an ordinance amending chapter 19, article 10, section 19-30 of the Code of Ordinances of the Town of North Providence entitled No Parking on Certain Streets Generally to provide for certain parking restrictions in the vicinity of 77 Sunset Avenue. Is there a motion to introduce?
Motion to introduce and advertise for public hearing.
And motion has been made by Councilman Famagetti, seconded by Councilman Di Lorenzo. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 25, tax abatements under 1,000. Town council discussion and action, possible vote for the approval of the list of tax abatements under 1,000 received from the tax assessor in the amount of $1,493.16 and $225.40 for motor vehicles. Do I have a motion to, am I approving these?
Yes.
Okay, I have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion been made by Councilman Amorigi. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Bacala. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 26, tax abatements over 1,000. Town council discussion and action and possible vote for the approval of the list of tax abatements over 1,000 received from the tax assessor in the amount of $6,800.73 for real estate. and $3,933.16 for motor vehicles. Do I have a motion to abate?
Council President, that would be a motion to refer to the Finance Committee.
I apologize. A motion to refer to the Finance Committee.
So moved.
Motion been made by Councilman Amorigi. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Matone. Item number 27, tax. abatement.
Excuse me, sorry, one question, Council President. This is actually a question for legal counsel. I have a Finance Committee meeting already set up for next Tuesday. Can we put this on that? Does this have to wait longer than 7 days?
No, it can go on there as long as you amend, as long as it's on your open meetings agenda, you're fine.
Okay, I'll ask Troy to do that. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay. Item number 27, tax abatements from Tax Board of Review, Town Council discussion and action possible vote for the approval of the list of tax abatements from the Tax Board of Tax Review received from the tax assessor in the amount of $907.38 for real estate. Are we approving just?
Yes.
Approve.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Motion's been made by Councilman Amorigi. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Matone. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion been made by Councilman Famagetti. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman McCollum. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you, gentlemen.
Good night, guys.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
All right.
See you
Thank
guys.
Al.
Thank you.